Hello and welcome to Colorado Tulips. This is Carrie. This is what I see when I look out my front door in the first part of the morning. It's quite pretty. Here we go. Let's see how everything is doing today. We've got a little bit of stock. Today is the 9th of April, I believe. And there's some purple stock in this hanging basket that I'm still trying to figure out how to keep it alive. It's going to get very cold next week, so I'm going to have to put it into the house. Like, it's going to get down to 16 at night. So we'll see how it goes. So far, what we're seeing are the green and the purple. A little bit of white from the crocuses. And these, I think these are exotic emperor that are coming up. These have been the first tulips to break ground. And they are starting to bud, but there is, I think there's something wrong with the buds, like that they're a bit twisted and stunted. Let's get really really close. I mean, these are probably, you know, like as big as my thumb tip here, right? So they're quite small, and they're just kind of twisted. So I'm wondering if possibly they got too much cold. They didn't get cold enough. We'll see. You can also see that the crocuses are starting to go over, but there's still a few in the landscape here that are just looking adorable. The tiny yellow ones, as well as some of the white ones. But yeah, the purples seem to have done their thing. The rest of these tulips, and there are some daffodils too. We're not seeing them yet. This is what's coming up over here in the corner. This is some additional crocuses, I think, that I had just popped into the ground at the last minute. In this spot, in this corner, are what should be a white lion daffodils coming up at some point. So we'll see. I did leave in general this kind of border here so that I could plant more in the next year, and and just get some different tulips in here, because as you can see, I filled it quite full as it is. These tulips here in the front bed, these are the hyacinths are coming up again. These, quite oddly, the flowers again are very sparse. Don't know why. These come from a Longfield garden mix called just Shades of Blue mix. I sent them photos as well, and a Longfield garden responded. They're like, I don't know, did you get too much wind? Was there too much rain? And I said, well, not anything different from the rest of my yard, and I'm not really seeing anything like that, but we'll just have to see what happens here with these. This is the first, I think this is a tulip. Pretty sure this looks like a tulip that's starting to come up here. First bud of a tulip in my entire front yard, backyard, and containers. I have a feeling this one's going to be a white one, I believe. This one may in fact be a white lion as well, since in this area I was focusing the whites and the purples, basically because I had seen a friend with a bouquet of flowers that were I think purple glads and white something else, and I just thought it was gorgeous. So I thought, all right, purple and white's what's going in this little area here, kind of this little tongue that sits at the end. And then in this main area, the tulips that are going to be coming up are going to be red and yellow and orange for the most part. All these rocks on the side, by the way, are ones that were pulled out of the landscape as I was digging and getting the soil ready. So as you can see, we obviously had some we had some really terrible soil. I think this year I'm going to need to put some additional mulch down. This whole bed was almost a last minute idea, and so I just had the mulch on hand. Well, we'll see what happens here. Let's see, everything is going quite well with the Mugo pines. They're tiny. They should be able to stay here inside their pots for a while. Still getting a sense for how much to water them, when to water them, etc. This pot has yet to have anything bloom in it, but I I'm looking forward to seeing something come up, something come out eventually. It's going to be really pretty. And at this point, you see it just from the side, right? It's coming up just about to the bend of my hand. And then this one little lone tulip down here that I had, I was just so tired of planting, and it's hard to tell here, right? Because as you look in the front, it looks like there are some sparse areas. Yeah, I had put these pretty, you know, kind of a distance of a hand apart, just for landscaping purposes, and it felt like I was just throwing tulips everywhere in here. And then that one final one, I just popped it on the side, so it'll be pretty. You can see the stalk, so nice. I had been hearing about stock in YouTube videos as being a great cut flower, and I just couldn't resist anymore. I had to, when I was at the garden center, I thought I'm just gonna get some and see what happens with it here. I'm loving the hyacinths coming up, and they're just looking gorgeous. As I said, this was supposed to be a blue mix, but so far they're all looking pretty much the same. Oops, sorry about that. Let's see. Going here to the front tree where this is a linden tree, and I just try to get, you know, random tulips in here. I wanted it to be a multicolored show, and that's what it's going to turn out to be. You can start seeing there are some buds coming up. I think this one might end up being a yellow one. They're coming out just very, very tiny. I mean, these are literally the size of, like, the tulips themselves are about the size of my fingertip right now. But they are here, and they're coming out. Let's see, I don't recall if I put any daffodils in here at all, but yeah, and it's hard to tell as well at this point is what is up. Could be just everything that's going to come up, in which case I have some nice areas here to add some different tulip colors next year, and, you know, just work around here and put in who knows what. I had some dianthus in the back as a flower kind of in the summertime, and that worked out very well indeed. I really liked it. It was hardy. It could take the lack of water. It could take the sun. As you can tell, the grass not doing well at all, but it is early April, and last year we did not have any irrigation going in this front bed at all. So let's see, yeah, a little bit of tulip coming up here, and I think there's a little tiny bud in there somewhere, but yeah, it's coming up. And then I had put in just a few of these little yellow crocuses here at the very end, and they are spent at this point, but they've brightened my day considerably. These are, I think, Little Devil 9 barks, and I had actually, in my final quest to get rid of bulbs and shove something in the ground, I had popped, I think, a few underneath these trees, or underneath these little shrubs, like literally 1 or 2, but I'm not seeing any growth on those, so it may just be that they never took. Some tulips coming up here. I'm gonna have to think about how to protect these little dudes when we get, you can see some of that, when we have the 16-degree weather coming next week. I may just get big buckets and put them on top of here to help them in some way. I don't know if that'll work, but I think I'm going to try that next week when it gets really ugly out. More tulips, so pretty. These ones might be the blue moon mix. Don't know. We'll find out. Over here is a cinquefoil with a little bit of growth coming out of it. And I don't know what pooped here or what that is, but Got that. Again, I'm pretty sure that's going to be a blue moon mix, but we'll find out. And then here are the Monsella tulips. They are, at least I thought they were Monsella, but we'll see. You can absolutely detect buds all coming out here. We had snow last week, and this, you might be able to tell, this is almost in a depression. You know, I had excavated the soil, put in brand new soil, and it sank over the course of the winter. And so when the snow was melting, this was standing in water. And I kind of tried to excavate a little trail out, and some of the water came out, but I was actually quite worried that these were simply going to rot. So I'm thrilled to see that there is still some life in them yet, and some buds are happening. So thank you for joining me with this tour of the front yard. I'm going to look at this directly on from the side, just for my own records, so that I can see where there's some space now. I'm hoping that there's just some late blooming tulips that haven't started coming up right there, but if not, it'll be the first place where I put in some annuals. Take care and have a good day.